Liverpool because this is very, very interesting in my opinion because their signings they've made indicate that we're going to see a completely different Liverpool to the one which we're used to, and if it works, could potentially see Liverpool go back to where they were and competing for the title and the major honours next season. But we'll see what happens. Make sure to leave a like, comment below as well if you do enjoy who you want to see next. We've done this on Arsenal and Chelsea, so check that out if you haven't done so already. But yeah, let's begin then. So I've got here what will probably be the preferred lineup. So we've got Alisson in goal, Trent, Alexander-Arnold, Ibrahim Konate, Van Dijk, Robertson, Fabinho, Dominic Szoboszlai, Alexis McAllister, Luis Diaz, Cody Gakpo, and Mo Salah. Now, it may not end up like this, but we'll get into that. So, originally, for years now, Liverpool were known in a 4-3-3 formation, and traditionally, they're known for their absolutely flying fullbacks. Robertson and Trent on the overlap, absolutely bombing forward, which allows Salah, and this would usually be Mane, to come inside. Firmino would be a false 9, link up play for them. Trent would cross those balls in for Mane or Robertson, or Robertson would cross the ball in for Salah and Trent. And then essentially the midfield would be quite pragmatic. You would have Henderson who would sort of drop into this role here and cover for Trent, and then Fabinho and Gini Wijnaldum. It was something like this really. So yeah, that's really what they're known for, but it's caused them problems, certainly last year, due to many reasons, changing personnel and stuff like that. And Klopp's have to change his way and style of play. So last season, towards the back end of the season, they shifted. So what happened was they would do this. Fabinho would move over and Trent Alexander-Arnold would come into the midfield. Robertson would kind of be like this position here, and then Curtis Jones and Jordan Henderson would join up like that, and essentially it would be something like this, and they would have this box midfield here. Now, it was pretty successful last season, and I think that their new signings indicate that this will probably continue, but we might see a bit of changes to this. So we'll stick with this. So this is obviously when Liverpool have the ball. So Konate and Van Dijk shuffle over a little bit. Now, the weird thing here is Robertson. I don't really know how he fits into this style of play, and I'm surprised that Liverpool haven't been linked to a more kind of like Josko Guardiola type, who's like a left back / centre back, or quite a conservative left back, because Robertson loves to fly forward on the overlap. He's a very energetic fullback who likes to go forward, and last season there were a few problems with him in this role because he had to be a little bit more disciplined, and sometimes he would go forward and that would leave holes in behind, or when he was sitting here he wouldn't be as disciplined defensively, and sometimes just wasn't used to that back three system and would get exposed a little bit. So this is a bit of an area of concern for me, in my opinion. However, I do think Robertson is probably capable of doing this role. I just think it will probably be more like this. So Robertson will be essentially kind of like a wing back role, and what will happen is Fabinho just drops him a little bit deeper as a sort of anchor to form this sort of triangle, and then Trent can have sort of a freedom in the middle when they have the ball, and it'll be something like this. And if they really wanted to, Robertson can go forward then like this. They can have the back three of Fabinho, Canate and Van Dijk, Trent in the midfield there, and then this is where it gets interesting. So Liverpool of course bought Alexis McAllister and Dominic Szoboszlai. I'm not sure who they're going to sign, but as of recording, this is the only two signings they've made. Now, McAllister and Szoboszlai, I think, are huge upgrades on the players they had originally in these positions. It was Henderson and Curtis Jones last season. That's major upgrades. I think McAllister for sure will be playing in this left-sided attacking mid role. Szoboszlai, we're getting into that into a bit, but if it is these two, then their role is simply just going to be as attacking mids. And Mo Salah and Luis Diaz, we saw last season, were inverting quite a bit, which is really what you want to see, because a lot of last season Salah was stuck out wide. That's not his game. He likes to come inside there, and what happened was Mo Salah would come like this and Jordan Henderson would go round like that and provide the width. So we could potentially see that. It'll probably be something like this, and same with Luis Diaz, but if Robertson is there, he doesn't necessarily need to, meaning McAllister can take up this role and Hakpo. It'll be essentially something like this. I think it's probably the best option in terms of them having the ball. Or simply just tell Robertson, don't go forward that much. Fabinho and Trent come in there, McAllister, and then Szoboszlai, and they essentially have this, and it's quite a narrow thing like that. They don't really have too much width, but they really are focusing on this area here, where they have essentially 6 players through the middle of the pitch and outnumber their opponents there. Now, we'll get on. Let's talk about Szoboszlai and McAllister in particular here. So, as I said, what would happen last season, Salah would come in and Henderson would go on the overlap there, but I don't know if that really suits Szoboszlai's game, because Szoboszlai really likes to operate. Actually, he's been operating a lot as a right winger and coming inside into this area here, which is essentially Mo Salah's area. And again, when he plays as an attacking mid, this is kind of the area he wants to occupy. So I don't know how comfortable he will be going into this area out wide, and I feel like that is a little bit of a waste. So I do think what we'll see is Mo Salah and Szoboszlai. I don't know, there's a little risk that they are kind of going to get into each other's ways down this area here, but on the other hand, it could work wonders, and these two in the same spaces here will be linking up very nicely together. McAllister is a bit more simple. He will play that left cam role and just occupy this area here, and McAllister is very, very good because he offers quite a bit of flexibility, which we'll get into. Now, with Szoboszlai, he may not actually play in this attacking mid role. He could sometimes play instead of Salah and play on this right wing. Let's say Salah needs a rest or something. They play a Jones there. Let's change that. Play someone like Curtis Jones, Jordan Henderson. And as I said, Szoboszlai could pretty easily play that Mo Salah role of coming inside here, and then they get someone up wide there. So Szoboszlai, he can even do it on the left as well, cutting in on that right foot. I just think he is a very good and shrewd signing because he offers quite a bit of flexibility. Now, in terms of defensively, this is where it gets quite interesting, and Liverpool could potentially have some problems, but I think this team is extremely flexible and we could see them play multiple systems during games. So we'll we'll start with defensively how we'll set up, probably. So, I think you'll probably see Trent go into right back, and I think the most simple solution is just a 4-3-3 defensively when they don't have the ball, just like that. And you get Szoboszlai and McAllister, who both work quite hard to press very high, which is something I think Szoboszlai and McAllister will help the team a lot. You know, Liverpool teams are known for their mad pressing. I think these guys will help them massively. Squeeze the pitch like this, that would work very well. But let's say they, are sitting back in a bit of a lower block, letting the team have the ball. As I said, they could play in this 4-3-3 system. That could definitely work. But I think that is a little bit too reliant on someone like Fabinho in this area here. He's got quite a big area to defend against, because McAllister and Szoboszlai do defensive work. As I said, they work very hard, but they're not necessarily the most incredible defensively. So you could probably see this midfield area here could get exposed quite a bit. So this is where I said the flexibility is very useful, and I think McAllister is going to be very key. I think what you might see is McAllister will drop in and form a double pivot, and essentially it will now become a 4-2-3-1 when they are defending. So McAllister, he is very comfortable either as a 10 or as a DM or just a centre mid, and I think when you're defending, I think it would make more sense just to drop in another body alongside Fabinho. Again, he's not going to be like some Rodri or Casemiro, but he is an extra body in this midfield. Suddenly, there's a lot less space here and less reliance on Fabinho, who is getting older, to mop up defensively. And you can allow Szoboszlai to just run around sort of and press very high. And they can also do this setting up attackingly. I think you can definitely see this happening. Don't be surprised if they go into this 4-2-3-1 system, maybe just to be a bit more reserved, and you maybe to be fair, you could probably just put Trent into midfield still, and form a sort of free in the midfield, if you like, or actually drop Fabinho in there, and it can be a McAllister and Trent in the midfield with Robertson going forward like that. You might see something like that happen. They could easily do that. You could also just see a reverting to Trent going there and Fabinho dropping in and Robertson flying forward. This is probably something they will do. They are, searching for a goal, maybe trailing in a game. You could definitely see it like that. So there's clearly a lot of flexibility within this team, but it is still quite reliant on a couple players, mainly Fabinho, which is a little bit of an area of concern. I think this is why Liverpool are going to sign another player. I think they're trying to sign someone like Romeo Lavia, and I would definitely be trying to get someone else for Fabinho, because as we said, he's going to have to do quite a lot of defensive work with McAllister and Szoboszlai in the midfield with him. And as we saw last season, he's, to be fair, second half of the season he looked pretty good, but I don't know if you can rely on him for the whole season. So getting someone like Romeo Lavia, let's put him in, to play that role, will probably have a bit more energy and legs than Fabinho, and also will hopefully be comfortable dropping a little bit deeper and dictating play from here. You also are, it's going to be a little bit interesting in terms of a front line. I already mentioned also about Robertson. I would look to try and get someone in there, but let's just say they go into this formation just like this. The front line is very, very flexible. So I put Hackbo as the striker. I think he will be the number 9. I think though Diego Jota can definitely slot into this role very, very easily. And I suspect he will do quite a bit. As I said, Soboslai could be playing this role instead of Salah, and you put a Jones or a Henderson there. You could also play Harvey Elliott in this role. I think you'll probably start to see him transition as a right winger now. You know, he's been forced to play in midfield at Liverpool, but I think this role, cutting inside here, playing in these spaces here, will suit him a lot better. On the left, I do think Darwin Núñez, I think his best position will be on this left wing. I personally don't think he's best as a striker. I think you need to get Darwin Núñez on the wide areas to utilise his pace and stuff like that. I don't think he's really great as a central striker, and I'm not entirely sure though how well he suits this system though. Yeah, he's a little bit of a weird one to be honest, but yeah, I think they've got great depth. I think they just need someone instead of Fabinho, someone like a Romeo Lavia. They probably need someone else as well at left back to give them an option there. But apart from that, I mean, a team looking like this, let's just pop Fabinho back in, and let's put Hakpo, Diaz, and Salah, swap those two around. I think a Liverpool team set up like this will cause a lot of problems for teams. And I think with McAllister and Soboslai, this indicates that we are no longer going to see this flying fullback 4-3-3 system, and you will most definitely see this box midfield form here. And McAllister and Soboslai are going to be vital, and McAllister's ability to drop deep. You know, potentially you could even do this in certain cases, maybe when you're coming up against a real low block, you know, a team like Luton for example, you can just do this, you can put McAllister in there, the midfield, play him as a sort of register role instead of Fabinho, and put the Jones here. So they've got real flexibility, they've got depth, they just need a couple more additions. And I really do think that this Liverpool team is looking very, very dangerous. Very, very dangerous. But yeah, that's my thoughts on how they'll set up next season. Let me know if you agree or disagree with my thoughts. And if you have enjoyed, please leave a like, consider subscribing. I'll see you in another video.